Okay, so detailed seller ratings, also known as DSRs for short, is a system that reviews the transaction between you and the buyer. Okay, let me explain how it works. There's 4 categories that go with the DSRs right here, as you can see. And you can find this in your feedback. There's item as described, communication, shipping time, shipping and handling time. Now, a customer, when they receive your product, they'll get a notification to leave a review on the transaction between you and them. And they can give you anywhere between a 1-star to a 5-star on that transaction. So item as described, did they receive what was advertised? Okay. So if you're following along in the course and doing exactly what I'm telling you to do, to copy and paste the information directly from the source, you're not adding anything weird. You're not adding anything that's in the title that shouldn't be there. You're not adding any non-relevant words. You're going to be totally fine, and you should get high stars. Okay. Now, as you can see, I have 4.9 out of 5 stars there, 1,466 number of ratings. Now, communication is basically your communication between you and buyer. If a buyer sends you a message, do you respond back to them? You want to make sure you don't ignore them, okay? So communication. Shipping time, did the customer receive the product in a timely manner? That's really important. And shipping and handling charge doesn't really apply to what we're doing because we're always offering free shipping. So you're going to automatically get 5 stars from eBay. So that's really cool. Now, all of this added up will give you an overall score here that you can find in your seller dashboard. When you click on account, there's a link here for your seller dashboard, and this will take you here, okay? And what eBay does is they tally up all those scores, and they call it your transactions that had defects, okay? And this is your percentage on your total amount of transactions and the transactions that they call had a defect, okay, in those 4 categories that I mentioned. When a customer leaves you a review with a 1-star, 2-star, or 3 stars in the categories I mentioned earlier, you're going to receive a count towards a defect, all right? So as you see here in my account, out of those transactions, I had 6 counts of a low detail seller rating for item as described, so someone wasn't happy with the product, or they felt like the product wasn't exactly what they expected it to be. When they rate 1, 2, or 3 stars, I get a count against me. Okay, so 1.26% of my total transactions had that as a default. Return request, low detail seller ratings for shipping time. They're not happy with the shipping and how fast I received the product. So it's not a lot, as you can see, less than 1%, but I have 4 counts there. Now, and also neutral and negative feedback from buyers. This is why keeping customers happy and make sure they leave you a good feedback plays a big role in your overall percentage. I had 6 counts, so that equals 1.26% here. So all this tally up will give you this overall score of your transactions that had defects. Now, depending on how high this number is, it will qualify you in one of 3 ranks that eBay has. The ranks are below standard, above standard, and top rated, okay? Now, if you don't do your job right, okay, or you're not doing it correctly, you can get some bad scores and get some bad counts and get some bad reviews. If that happens and you fall more than 5%, you fall below standard. And this is a dangerous area to be in. You don't want to fall below standard, because what happens there is eBay will restrict your account and take away those limit increases that they gave you. So you never want to fall below 5%. This is something that you want to make sure you're monitoring at least on a weekly basis. So it kind of gives you an idea on what areas you can improve in, okay? Now, the safe zone is between 2% to 5%. So as you can see, I'm right smack in the middle at 3.35% here. And this is a safe zone. You're above the standard, and eBay likes that, and eBay will continue to give you increases and give your listings a better score and a better rank, okay? Now, when you do get to top rated seller status, this means that you had less than a 2% defect rate. If and when you do reach this status, this is huge, and this can literally increase your business 30% overnight. Because once you get to top rated seller status, what happens is eBay will give you a seal that goes on all your listings that show that you're a top rated seller. You follow the rules to the T and you have good customer satisfaction. And eBay gives you a couple bonuses for do that. Number one, they're going to give you a discount on your eBay fees, and that's huge. If you're talking about tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in transactions, that can equal, a few hundred or even a few $1,000s in profit that you didn't have to pay in fees. All right. Another thing that eBay does is they boost your score so that way your listings actually rank even higher than your competitors. So in essence, you're going to get more views, more clicks, and more sales. Okay, so it's a big deal to get to top rated seller status. Personally, for me, I was able to reach top rated seller status in my first few months, and then I maintained that level for a few months, and right now I'm in above standard trying to get back to top rated. Okay, so that's the goal that you essentially want to shoot for. I gave you a brief overview of how this whole DSR system works. I'll be posting a link to eBay's article where you can read the full details on how this whole system works. But the main thing is this: make sure you monitor this percentage here, okay? Make sure you're taking a look at the counts over here, all right? And again, the safe zone, it would be between 2 to 5%. You never really want to go more than that. More than 4% even, because you're getting a little close to below standard, but just stay between 2 to 5% and you're going to be totally fine, and shoot for the top rated seller status.